First day back.
First day back, putting the house in order.
Putting the house in order.
Having a hard time identifying with my old self.
Yeah.
It's actually very difficult, and I feel like I have a lot that I want to kind of vomit on a page later today. And yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited for everything that's to come. Like Mom said, there's two. Funny story is that there's two, right? There's not one hummingbird egg or hummingbirds that are now blossoming in the backyard. Maybe we can get it on the footage. It'd be cool too. Show that. And but yeah, today major changes. While I spent all these 6 months in Brazil, I pretty much learned that I didn't need a car anymore, and I told myself that I wasn't gonna be riding a car once I got back to California, here in San Diego. So I purchased this e-bike, and we're gonna be doing this unbox really quick. But I think the message behind this is that it always comes down to you to make a change, and if you want to actually start making changes in your life, don't think that buying an e-bike may not be a great choice for you. Just remember that there's a cost that you have to pay in riding that e-bike that's very different than any car that you may purchase. But there's also very good aspects behind that e-bike that you can unfold through time, and pretty much I found that while I was down in Brazil. So I'm going to replicate that here, and that comes down to a habit and not the purchase, which is actually the most important thing. So errands electric bike. You could do your errands on it.
That's sick.
Seat.
Feel comfy?
Yeah. It's a big seat. Now the bad boy, and the battery, of course, which is the heavy part. Right.
Pretty cool. Sick.
How we be geeking. When I was a kid, probably used to dream about these things. But nowadays, you got it. Zip ties. Well, cut the wrong thing. I thought it was blue. It's more of a silver. Scratch it there. I got some scissors for this.
Do you have? Got that CST, boy.
Yeah. I think so. Go.
So what kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
Excitement. Joy that I was able to replicate what I wanted to replicate. being that like the way that people transport themselves in California is in a car, and I'm going against that. I'm gonna use a folding bike, and I'll be taking the Sprinter and using public transportation, because we have to stop polluting the environment. And we come up with all these other ideas, but there's already so many ideas out there that are just as good. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel. It's all about understanding how to hop on that wheel and making it your own, you know? So, and obviously, the most exciting part, I was looking forward to this, keys. And I already got the keychain for it, so I'll get that in a second, because it's a really special gift that someone gave to me. And cool. So, bike unfolds. Should fold out. And yeah, okay. That should lock. Has a locking device mechanism. It's dirty. The lock. Then okay, as it was folded. Okay. Respect, man. One less car, you know. That's it. Genius. Genius. Great idea. Support it. Support the cause behind it. You know. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. Is it true? I think you hold it or both buttons or
Right here. Use. Right.
let's get the. Just put my shoes on real quick. Look at it.
That smile.
Sorry, man. I get my teeth. I get my nice teeth soon. You know. But for now, I got that authentic smile. You know.
What do you think about the YouTube thing?
I think we're good, man. Yeah, key stay on and key stay off. I think the key stays on there.
Você não leva a chave embora?
No, I think it stays on. Like a bike. Like an actual electric bike.
E ela vai até quanto por hora?
20 minutos.
Ela acende até a luz aqui atrás.
20 milhas por 40? 20, 40? Quando tem que carregar. Os meninos aqui que tem, mas eles têm daquelas grandonas. Tá?
Sim. Ok. Okay. Just a bit. There it goes.
But yeah, that's the recap of the week. So I think we just want to bring to you guys, in which you guys are probably already watching the video, and it's a little bit all over the place, but I think we had the conversation at the beginning of the week, of just drafting up a trading plan so we can both hold ourselves accountable throughout the week.
Starting this coming week. Yeah.
Starting on Monday.
Starting on Monday.
But do you want to start with the trading plan?
Yeah, so overall, the conclusion of this topic between the two of us was that we were both going to commit to a total of 2 trades a day and no more than 10 trades a week. In terms of the parameter of risk, that will differentiate because of the kinds of accounts and account balances that we will be trading. But just to recap what I just said, only taking 2 trades a day with a max of 10 trades a week with the end goal of coming out in profit is difficult if your mind is not aligned with that. And that's something that can take 6 months for somebody. It could take a year for somebody else. It could take 3 years for somebody else. It could take 5 years for somebody else. And it's not really a laughing matter, I would say, for the most part. It's actually something that's extremely overlooked because it's not taught. But those 2 criteria is what we as a team will hold each other accountable. And I think from here, I'll let Andrew just go through his major criteria of how he's going to approach, and I'm going to have my major criteria. And in these criteria, we're going to talk about the pairs that either of us will trade, and pretty much the approach to how either of us is looking at the market. So I'm going to go ahead and let Andre go through his plan.
So when I was drafting up the trading plan, I just want to make sure I had a couple of good reminders for myself. And one of them is just we're always missing the message. We always think there's some type of missing information. There is a different strategy that can make us profitable, and overall just looking for somebody to hold our hands. So that reminder right there for me is just you gotta do the work for yourself, and you gotta make sure you have a structure, a rule-based system, and you need to follow that. Be productive, be accountable for the things that you do, have intention. And it's funny, I'm looking at my trading plan, but my last one as my reminder is don't trade in vain, because or else your life is going to be a misery. And I see that happen to so many people. Now, a couple notes that I have taken from a course that I have studied. I think a big one is trading is 5% technical and 95% you. Do not cruise. If you're going to do this, give your 110%. Believe that it works. And that's it. Just believe that it works. You need to believe on the strategy. You need to believe on the trading plan. It's about the belief in yourself. Is remembering why you started this journey, and just believing on it. Believing that you can achieve those goals. And just make sure you very focus throughout this process. Make sure to focus on one thing. Don't try to trade multiple things. Just be focused on one thing. Master that one thing first. It's all about the movement. Master that movement. Be focused on it. enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of that movement. See how slow it can go. See how fast it can go. Just don't be fearful. Be aggressive. It's gonna require for us to be aggressive. This right here is uncomfortable enough for myself. This right here, a couple years ago, probably wouldn't be doing this. But I had a switch in my mindset, in which I'm hunting. I'm on the hunt. You know, I had a friend approach Ricardo this week at the gym. I think one thing that he said to Ricardo was, Andre's like he's on that warrior stage right now. Like he's just like literally like warrior. And that said a lot to me. Because those words didn't come out of my mouth, but it came out of somebody else's mouth. So that enough lets me know exactly where I'm at. Take the time, you know, just look at this as like an investment. Don't feel like you're wasting your time while you're doing this. It's not just about trading, but it's about mastering yourselves. For the beginning of the journey, I wrote a couple steps. Because I think in order to achieve big goals, we gotta break down into just simple steps, things that we can do right now. And the first thing that I can do right now is purchase a $50 My Forex Funds challenge for $5,000. Right, that's the actual amount of the account. So that's the account size, $5,000. And I think this step is important because the process of passing this challenge will change my life. And I think the process of like passing any challenge, whether it's a 5K account, a 10K account, 2,500, it will change your life. Now, while I'm at that step, I think there's a couple stages. The first stage is to prove to myself that I can achieve 8 to 10% a month. The second stage is to prove that this is not a fluke. I didn't get lucky. I have a strategy and it works. It's about the proof of concept. And the third stage is to prove to myself that I can withdraw money out of the market. And that's my reward. Is that little small is the withdrawal. Now, the time frame that I'm gonna be looking at the market will be the H4 and the 5 minute. And I'll be applying something called the 2-candle theory. I'm sure if you guys go on YouTube, you probably can find a couple of videos on this concept. But that's how I'm going to be approaching the market. And a couple of principles that goes with that is that we're only going to take a trade in line with the previous candle closure. And we're going to look for a couple of trading patterns. So for buys, we're going to look for a break of the high on the 5 minute chart. And on the sell side, we're going to look for a break of the low on the 5 minute chart. And the trades they're going to be taken with candle closure or with not. The order type that we're going to mostly use is going to be buy stops and sell stops. That should be 95% of our order types. 5% would be market execution when the volume is really high and we just don't have the time to set up the trade. A couple of processes that we're going to put in place is asking a couple of questions. The main question that we want to answer is, do I believe that the next candle will go bullish or bearish? do I believe, right? So if the previous candle closed bullish, do I believe that the next candle will also close bullish? That's the main question that we want to answer. And then we're going to follow to, after we answer that question, we're going to follow to look for entries. We should we should apply a candlestick anatomy, letting the candle create the stick first, the wick first, and the body next. So we're mainly looking for the flip of the candle. We're gonna mainly want to set and forget our trades. And the focus of this is not looking at news or looking at other time frames. The focus of this is to trade a single candle. One single candle, that's all we need. Our stop loss will be placed in the wick behind the lower high or higher low out of the 5-minute time frame. Our take profit is going to be determined by our stop loss size. So primarily, we're going to want to target a 3R. But we need to have a little bit of logic when we approaching the chart. Let's say we're going to target a 3R, but our stop loss size is 40 pips. And we're looking at GJ. Does it really make sense to target a 3R? Will market really achieve that 3R? Are you giving yourself enough chance to win that trade? Or is it better for you to make the decision of targeting a 2R instead of 3R? Now, let's say if the stop loss is 20 pips, you see that the average size of the candles there are about 60, then you must target that 3R. Nothing less than a 2R. As far as trade management, there's zero trade management. But there's one exception. If you're in profit and you are at a 2R mark and you just can't stand the emotions no more, because you've been looking at the charts for an hour and 30 minutes, and the moment that you enter the trade, the volume just died, and after an hour and 30 minutes, the volume picked back up. Now you're in profit at 2R. You're mentally exhausted. You can't hold this trade no more. You just want to be over with those feelings. That's the only time you can close the trade at 2R. And it must be at 2R. But no break even, no moving stops, no nothing. The time that we're going to show up at the chart is going to be at 10 p.m., 2 a.m., 6 a.m. The pairs will be GJ, GU, and only if you can't find nothing on GJ and GU, you're going to go trade gold. But those are your 3 pairs. Trade count, as previously discussed, is a max of 2 trades per day. Two losses, you will stop trading. If you win, you are allowed to capitalize once. Your risk, every first trade must be taken at 1%. Every second trade is only taken at 0.5%. And just a word of caution, be careful with addiction when trading, because trading is an emotional game. So there is a factor of addiction. There's a factor of addiction when you hit a win, in which you feel pleasure. There's a factor of seeing your trade negative, in which you feel fear. And just understand that addiction is nothing more than instant gratification. That's all the chance. It's instant gratification. And throughout this process, just have the psychology, in which is, I think is the psychology of success, in which have the self-disciplines, be self-disciplined, be patient, have consistency, and just avoid doing dumb shit. We must do that. Think before we speak. Think before we analyze. Be calm. Be consistent. Show up every day. Believe in the process. That's my trading plan. I'm going to pass it on to my brother. Let him share his.
So just remember that things can change.
I like that notebook.
Things can change. And also recall that if not Forex, then what? So the hardest task of the trader is to stick to their trade plan long enough and executing it by doing it the right way, regardless of the losses and immediate outcomes. One must be strong at heart and put in the self-work. Successful trading is defined by being able to stick to a trade plan and execute it the right way long enough until consistency is achieved. The incorrect perspective, and which is similar to one of a gambler and not of a true trader, is when you continue to chase the losses and the instant gratification and being basically played by your own emotions that arise out of trading. And just remember that being a true artist in this field will come at a cost, and you must be precise and only take the opportunity when it presents itself. Those are the core pillars, really, to all of this. My trade plan is pretty much simple. It is simple. The pairs I'll be trading will be USD JPY, USD CAD, and gold, if need be. Why the two pairs? And why the metal? USD JPY moves off of the stock market most times, so it's based off of shares, similar to GJ, and a lot of news. USD CAD is based off of oil price movements. CAD is strongly fueled by oil. So those are just commodities that I've learned how to pay attention to. And in theory, if USD JPY is going down, oftentimes gold will spike up as risk goes down. Then you want to move into something which is more secure, basically following the money. The core pillars of my trade style are psychological levels, so flat levels at the 000s and the 500 levels. Those are areas to always just be aware of, and areas where I'm likely going to be looking to take trades from and to. Risk criteria on this trade plan for 3 months will be only doubles. So for every trade, it's only risking 2R. There is no trade management. All trades are set to a standard 2R. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Entry criteria itself, I have traded the 1 minute time frame, the 5 minute time frame, the 15 minute time frame, the 30 minute time frame, and it will really just depend on how aggressive I may be looking to be. Depending on the entry, I pay a lot of attention into how wicks spike into certain levels and then spike out of those levels. Those are the main cores which I look for. However, it is similar to the two candle theory and how one can execute. Risk management will be of 2% on my account, and my goal is to actually stay under a 2 trade a day criteria. I plan to trade at least once a day only. Most and all trades really will be set and forgets, mainly because it's only 2 hours. It's not a 10-hour trade. It's not a 13-hour trade. It's not a 7-hour trade or 8-hour trade. I'm really just looking to either win or to lose on the trade. And the overall goal for myself is to make at least, I would say, 3 wins a week. So 3 times my risk. So that'd be 6 times. So 6 hours a week. That would be fantastic for me. And if I win for the day, that's it. If I lose for the day, that's also it. Trade times 10 p.m. 10 p.m. and I will be looking at the U.S. session as well, mainly because those 2 times are times that I can set the trades and literally forget. And through my own experience, I know that if I'm just looking to cruise through and not allow myself from deviating from the plan, is making sure that I'm pretty much away from the chart. So my mind and either my body. So that's what I will be doing. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah. Simple. Very simple.
Very solid.
Simple.
So
that's that.
I think that's a wrap, you know?
Yeah.
Sunday, it's nighttime. I think we're both pretty tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
Just go kill next week.